What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, along with my beautiful co-host, Soapy Muffin.
Hey.
And welcome into another edition of MVP Games Live. I kind of did that out of order, but fuck it, we rolling with it. And you might notice, hey, Ricky, there's something weird. I'm not used to seeing a door behind you. Things are looking weird with you. Soapy, I changed my setup a little bit. I rotated my desk. This is not the final form of what you guys will see. But yeah, I decided to change things up, so you guys are going to notice a door behind me today over my left shoulder. But we got a jam-packed show for you guys. But before we get into that, let's do some housekeeping. And you guys know the deal. Number one, join the Discord. Discord link down below on YouTube, ! Discord into Twitch chat to get in that link. It's a great time talking to everyone from the real MVP family. Also, make sure to support us, patreon.com/MVPvids. Bronze and above tiers, getting things like access to the voice channels in the Discord. You've got can interact with the live shows. Like, you can interact and ask us questions and we'll answer them on the show. We also have getting content early, like the wrestling podcast. You can get that a week early before everybody else. So it's a great time. Help support us. Also, if you sub here at twitch.tv/MVPvids, that will also give you the same rewards as a bronze member. And then last but not least, I just mentioned it, we are on Twitch every Monday through Friday, twitch.tv/MVPvids. But we're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. Go ahead and like us and sub to us and all that good stuff at both places. But Soapy, jam-packed show, talking Xbox, talking Godfall, talking PlayStation, talking Borderlands. But we got to start with my favorite, I should say, my darling, which is the PS5, because it was announced after the show on Friday. It was announced that the PlayStation, or Sony, was going to have a special PlayStation 5 Showcase on September 16th at 1 p.m. PDT. And Soapy, I know this may play into your sleep schedule. We'll have to talk about it off camera. I would love to. Either one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm going to be watching that live by myself, or Soapy and I are going to be watching it live. One of the two. Because I think that good things are going to happen from it. And Soapy, kind of the first thing that I kind of wanted to bring up was kind of the obvious of, it's for sure we're getting the price and the release date, right? Like, this is just telling us, hey, everything is going to, like, I want price, I want release date, and I want how to pre-order. That's what I want from Wednesday.
Yeah, and they fucking better.
Could you imagine if they did it just to say, like, hey, here's some titles coming out with the PlayStation. Bye, guys.
I mean, see, I wouldn't be super mad about that, but at the same time, it's like, when you mention, like, when people mention the PS5, if Sony is saying shit about it, it's like, okay, just tell us shit about your console. Like, don't be secretive. Don't be like, ooh, don't worry, you'll find out. You'll find out soon. It's like, dude, just tell us, all right? Because we already know. And I don't always want to bring up Xbox with PlayStation and PlayStation.
Well, I was going to say, you're saying they should do like what Xbox did, right? It's just like, here it is, and not need a showcase.
Just give us information. Well, because it's also, with needing to know price, some people may start saving up now. The thing with waiting longer and longer, well, especially because, you know, if you buy a Xbox, you can finance it for $32 a month or $35 a month
with
for
Game
2
Pass.
Years. You know, it's just kind of throwing that out there, but like, but you know, I really think, like, right now they need to start letting people know. And because it's the later you get, the more people are going to be like, I'm not going to be able to afford when it comes out because I haven't had enough time to save up money. Obviously, you know, there are some people with, you know, big paying jobs and everything that they're going to be able to pay for it out of pocket right away.
I mean, I'm going to cut you off for 2 seconds only because I feel like with that argument, though, I feel like for months and for at least a year, we've kind of had a thought of where it may be. So even if you're saving up for the high end and they come out $100 less, like, I'm not completely buying how much it is, but I do buy the part of everyone is different and some people have high paying jobs to where it's easier to drop down $500, $600.
Yeah, and what I was meaning by that wasn't saying like, oh, like it's going to be too late. The whole thing is, if you give people like a confirmed date, you're not going to have the people who just wait until like not like last minute, but like the last few paychecks to do it. You can have it that someone starts building up stuff now,
Yeah.
where you start doing things along that line of where I think it's the longer you wait to announce the price, or hell, if you even have a financing option. Like, I think it's better to tell people like that shit now, because that got people excited for Xbox. Was hearing that I don't have to drop $500 or $300 out of my pocket, or technically at that point it'd be like like 30 or something like that, and like 330 or whatever the price comparison would be for including tax. But it's like seeing like, oh, I can finance my console. They got people being like, oh shit, dude, I actually may do that. Because like, yeah, I am technically then paying it off for 2 years, but like it's $35.
I mean, that's what
Obviously,
I did. That's what I'm doing with my computer. I fucking went to Best Buy and I said, fuck it, I'll pay it off.
Yeah, and that's something of it's being able to pay it off is something that really helps people. So, I mean, obviously, I hope PlayStation has an option like that.
Yeah.
Because if they just do the straight up buying it, like, I don't want to say like, oh, we'll see. Like, I would say probably first week we could see PlayStation being outsold, or like the first couple weeks. And it's because at that point it's like, okay, like what would you rather pay, 500 up front or 35 for like a couple months?
Yeah.
Like it takes months for arguably the same value of console, because obviously it's PlayStation has more exclusives, but Xbox is the stronger console. So it's like you're basically paying for about the same of what you're going to get from both.
Well, and the thing that I like with the Xbox, like the financing option, is it's almost like the way I would view it is I'm getting the Xbox, but really I'm paying for the Game Pass. Like I'm paying what is it, 35 you said? A month for Game Pass. Yeah, but I'm getting the X. That's what I'm saying. Like I know the S is like 25. It's like $10 cheaper.
It's 35 and 25.
Yeah. So like that's how I would view it. Is I'm paying 25, I'm paying 35 for X Pass. But I'm also like I've got the next gen console and I get to play them on that next gen. I think we are getting a price. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to speculate on what it is. We've done that enough. I think we get a release date. I don't know if we get... I would love pre-order, but like I just don't know. I could see Sony going, hey, here's the release date. Pre-orders will be coming up. But there's a part of me that goes, if you're going to do a showcase, there's got to be something that you're going to want, like that you want to show us. That is, it goes with the PlayStation 5, but it has nothing to do with pricing. You know what I'm saying? To where there was one where fans were like, oh my God, could we be getting like the God of War 2 like announcement? And boom, it's been a secret the whole time. Boom, it's coming out with the PlayStation 5. However, Santa Monica studio game director Corey Barlog, earlier today, he posted a reaction saying to looking at some of the news over the last 24 hours on Twitter, a gift of I'm going to screw the name up, Devastator from the old school Transformers cartoon laughing before saying no to said news. Thought the post is vague, though the post is vague enough that it could be theoretically be a reference to anything. The widespread nature is this recent God of War sequel rumor publicized by the YouTube channel Moore's Law is dead. Does not leave a whole lot of room for interpretation. And there's also a lot of people thinking like, holy shit, is PlayStation going to announce something like Silent Hill? A lot of people are thinking like, okay, there was a leaker from back in July that said Silent Hill PS5 reveal happening this year. It's been July, and we have heard nothing about it. Could this be the time where PlayStation, like, is this where they try to pull a rabbit out of their hat? Pull magic out of their sleeve to where it's like, you know what? We're giving you a showcase because we have something like a Silent Hill PS5 remake or new game basically something like that, to where it's like, hey, you didn't know about this big game coming out with the launch of the PlayStation, and now you know. Boom, cherry on top. I wonder if something like that is going to happen on Wednesday.
Oh yeah, I think we probably start getting more of like launch titles because especially because if you think about it, we don't
Godfall.
really know a lot. Yeah, like we really don't know a lot of the launch titles.
You
Like,
know, Godfall and Pathless are the two that I remember from the showcase.
yeah,
And
and I
Valhalla.
think yeah, and I mean obviously we need a release date too
Yeah.
because God only knows if it comes out on the 19th, it comes out with Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same time, that's a whole can of worms of just you're releasing days after the Xbox. And I think one of the things, and the only reason I don't think it'd be a Silent Hill game or just anything like that is because God of War, like the newest one, took like 7 years to make. I don't think we get a new God of War this quickly, especially after just what the other one was out for like a year or two.
Here, let me see. I'm looking it up. God of War PS4 came out in 2018, so it's been 2 years. Yeah, 2 years
Yeah,
since it, but like, yeah, like that's one where it's like I hadn't heard anything about God of War, so like when I heard that, it was like, okay, that's news to me. Um, Whereas like the Silent Hill one, I could see that happening only because like we've heard that rumor since July, but like we thought it was going to be the showcase that was around that time, and then it's like, oh, it's not. Oh, is it not happening then? To where they've got to like it's one of those things where I wish I could speculate and tell you guys at home, hey, this is going to happen. Like this is the big thing to expect, but like I can say for certain that they have a rabbit up their sleeve. They have a rabbit in their
yeah,
hat. They're going to pull it out on Wednesday. It's just a matter of what is it? What's that rabbit?
yeah. And also, the only other reason I don't think it's gonna be a Silent Hill is I'm not even trying to do it as like a way to like shit on Sony or anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
that company can't do anything without people knowing it. Because if
Mm-hmm.
I remember correctly, Kojima makes that, right?
What, Silent Hill?
Yeah,
You may be right. Let me fact check you.
I think it's Kojima. It's
Yeah.
I know it's a Japanese company that makes Silent Hill, because I think that company also makes Metal Gear.
Let me see. Oh, you are not helping me here. Let's see. Wikipedia. Yeah, Kojima. Or
Yeah.
Konami. Konami.
Okay. Yeah. My bad.
Konami Computers is what makes it.
Yeah. It's companies like Konami can't move or do anything really without stuff being said about it. Obviously, that leak may have been the one thing we hear about it, but like I'm not going to completely write it off. But I think it's if there was an exclusivity deal at any point, we would know about it. And it's because like the gaming industry is so like open now, and like everything's just kind of like common knowledge at this point of where it's like we get news about everything. Like it is very rare that a game drops without zero knowledge of it happening until it's announced. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna go on a. It's not a weak ledge, but I'm gonna go out on a ledge here. We get a brand new trailer for Miles Morales, and they say it's launching with the PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, because at the fuck, what was the
The
event we watched
June
that
one,
they had?
the
Yeah,
June live reveal.
yeah. It's did they have a launch date for that?
They did.
Because
So they said it's due to release in Q4 of 2020. That's all they told us. So
okay,
like,
yeah. So
I'm
they're definitely
assuming.
gonna announce.
Yeah,
They're definitely gonna announce that that's a fucking launch title.
I'm assuming
Because
that's like boom, you get Miles Morales. Now here's the next like the cookie on top for it, okay? And I would totally do this if I was Sony. But yet again, how ambitious do you want to be? You know what I would do if I was them?
hmm,
Miles Morales isn't just launching with the PlayStation. They come out with just like my PlayStation Pro is a Spider-Man PS Pro. I think it would be very ambitious, and it would kind of capture. You would get a group of people that would buy this, to where it's like on top of the PlayStation 5 normal, we're going to have a special edition Miles Morales PS5 that's like completely decked out, designed like Miles Morales.
Yeah.
But yet again, it's like when you're
past
first launching a console, has that ever happened before where they had like a special like addition to a launch console?
Because I think Xbox did that with Gears. Because I know there was a custom Gears Xbox at one point. Because that thing, because I had it at one point before it broke. And man, that thing scared the shit out of me when I hit the disc drive. Because I did not realize that it would sound like the chainsaw in the game, and I thought my Xbox broke.
Did it mean to do that though? Was it the red and black
that's what it was
one?
supposed to. Yeah, it's the one that has the Gears logo on it.
Oh,
so it's like
the
gear with the skull in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, with that one, it was if you hit the disc tray button, it would play the chainsaw sound from the game.
Jesus Christ.
And that's why I thought my console was breaking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I just fucking got this thing.
People are already like making like that same design on the Xbox Series X.
Yep. I know, because I am not going to be surprised, and I don't want to take this away from PlayStation too far. I will not be surprised if we get a Gear 6 next gen.
I mean, didn't they didn't at 2019 Z3 they had a, let's see, I'm gonna look up the showcase. I thought they showed off Gears at the 2019.
It was Gears 5 that they showed off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I would not be surprised if we get Gear 6 for next gen.
Because that was the one with Dave Bautista in it, right?
Yep.
Okay.
That Bautista's a playable character in online.
Let me see here really quick. Because I'm looking at, this is from inverse.com, which we have referenced before. As such, there should be more installments to the gruesome franchise, but with the departure of the franchise's long-standing game director and producer Rob Ferguson in February 2020, the future of Gears feels uncertain. Here's everything we do know about the inevitable Gears 6. So, like, it's going to happen, but, like, yet again, earlier this year, before quarantine, a much different time, Rob Ferguson did leave the franchise. So I don't know if that's going to put a, like, hamper on things. This article says
at some point next year.
Yeah. This article says don't expect a new installment until 2024. Do you think it happens?
Oh, okay, now hold up. No, because there wasn't that big of a gap between 4 and 5. Literally, with 4 and 5, they came out within like 2 years of each other. Like, even with Rob Ferguson gone, like, obviously, like, that's a huge hit because he wrote the originals. Like, he worked on every Gears game. And that's a massive hit. The only thing is, you didn't lose your whole original team.
Yeah.
Like, you still have, like, the people who were around him. Like, you still have the original dev team. Like, these people have chemistry with each other. Like, this isn't just, they didn't just poof out of existence. Like, I don't think we wait till 2024. I think the longest we wait is like 2020 or 2022. Because I just had like a stroke because I was too many twos in my head.
Because Gears 1 came out when I was 16 in 2006. Gears 2 came out when I was 18 in 2008. Then we had a 3-year gap between 2 and 3. That was 2011. Then a 5-year gap between 3 and 4. But they also had like Gears of War Judgment and Gears of War Ultimate Edition thrown in between those. Then we waited 3 years for Gears 5. And like if we do the 3 years, then what that would put us at 2022, like you said?
Yeah, 2022, 2023, somewhere in there.
Was there because I'm not an Xbox guy, was there a big reason why 3 to 4 took 5 years?
It's mostly because they didn't know if they wanted to continue the franchise or not. Because 3 literally put like the perfect ending on it. Yeah. Or at least for those characters' story. So they were like, okay, let's start new characters, which obviously I haven't really cared for the new batch of characters. Like, they aren't the worst. I just think that they're not that good written characters.
Yeah.
But going back to PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was gonna wrap up the PlayStation stuff because really,
Okay.
like, we know we're gonna get a price, we know we're gonna get a reveal. It's just what extra are we gonna get? I think Miles Morales and maybe Silent Hill are the two that we kind of look at. Miles Morales for sure, and I wanted to segue into some Xbox because there was a video that Soapy you put in the MVP Discord. If you have not joined, join, link down below, or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat. And I'm actually going to bring it up while we're kind of talking. This is a video by Unbox Therapy that you had brought up that kind of, they sent him two versions of the Xbox and the Xbox Series X. And we kind of get to see their sizing. I was going to ask you, as the Xbox guy, what was your thought from really the big takeaway was that the Xbox Series X isn't as big as we all thought it would be.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously, I think whenever they showed, like, the first picture of the Xbox Series X, I think it had that same struggle of, like, the angle they showed did not do it any service. Like, obviously, because at least I'm watching on Twitch, so
Yeah.
I can see, like, it's still a big console, like, and it still does look like a mini fridge, but it almost kind of looks more like a speaker now, more than a mini fridge, of where like it's about that same size. But it's a lot smaller, and also with the S, I didn't realize how fucking small that thing was gonna be.
Dude, that
because
thing
like I knew
tiny.
they said the S was small, but like when he did the comparison of like this is like two controllers put next to each other, like obviously don't get me wrong. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, it was.
Before I'm gonna cut you off before you keep going. With you, when you get your X, are you gonna be a guy that puts it vertical or horizontal?
I don't have a place to put that fucking absolute behemoth vertical. I gotta put that thing sideways.
Okay. Do you think most people, if they've got the space, do you think most people are going to prefer vertical or horizontal?
I think horizontal, and it's just because I think Xbox has always been more of like a horizontal console.
Okay.
Because, like, for instance, with the 360, you could put it vertical, but it was like it just didn't look right. Or at least for me, like I've always been more of like a flat console person. I've never been a like, oh shit, here we go, we're gonna like let's put it vertical. I'm just like, no, like this kind of makes it just easier.
Yeah, and I found the spot so you guys can see it on Twitch where it's like that's the length of it, where he's got one controller there from the end and it's like two controller lengths.
Yeah, it's basically two controllers put next to each other. Now, obviously, I know some people would probably be like, oh, but the PlayStation controller's smaller. It's not that impressive. It's like, they're really not that much bigger than each other.
Yeah.
Like, the problem, like, I think, because, like, I think I don't know if I've said it on the live show or not. My problem with PlayStation controllers, they feel so small and compact compared to, like, how Xbox's controllers feel, like, wider.
I fucking agree with you. And that's the exact reason why I do not like the Xbox controllers. Because they've always felt too bulky in my hand. Like, I immediately picked up my controller to feel it. And, like...
No, I did the same thing. So.
I constantly, like... I feel like... Maybe it's because I have small... Like, do you have big hands or small hands?
I have big hands.
Okay, maybe it's because, like, I have smaller hands to where I feel like... the PlayStation controller was always a perfect fit for me. And not the big hunky Xbox ones. Now, of course, they're not the same as they were. The Xbox Ones were fucking just behemoths of controllers. But yeah, I've always gravitated more towards the smaller PlayStation controllers.
Yeah. And the thing that, and obviously, like, it's just like a brief thing they showed. I'm kind of happy they didn't really change the Xbox's controller, because obviously I know like you don't care for the way the Xbox One's controllers are, but like obviously I will say I think these controllers are worse than the 360 ones, but even at that, it's kind of hard to beat perfection. So
was the 360 the perfect Xbox?
Yes. Well, it's because like it was that good in between of like what the Xbox One controllers is, and what the PlayStation controllers are, because like it's small enough, it doesn't take up an absolute shit ton of space, but it's not like small enough that my hands feel like I'm like basically like when I hold a PlayStation controller, I have to like hold my hands in such a certain way that like I'm basically barely holding the controller, because otherwise it's like one hand can almost like wrap around the fucking controller.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally don't like that, like because when I hold my Xbox controller, my hand takes up about like half of it.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. It's when I do it with PlayStation, I'm basically holding both sides of it.
Yeah.
With one hand, and I'm like, ooh, like I don't know if I like
your
that.
hands touch kind of a thing. Yeah, mine don't.
Yeah, I've always been when I'm playing a game, I do not like when my hands touch.
Yeah. I've got the gap because I'm able to grip both sides. But yeah, it was just like it was something like I saw that and I was like, we should bring that up, because like I was like, shit, I expected the Xbox X or Series X to be a lot bigger based on the pictures that they had showed us. Also, just a little short thing that I guess this was from The Verge where I saw it. Apparently, Phil Spencer was hiding the Xbox Series S back when you and I did the show that no one will see of Games Live, where we did our practice show. That it was just in the background on a bookshelf with books and stuff. That when Phil Spencer was talking, that was like, oh, there's the Series S, and nobody knew. Nobody knew. Like, shit like that I love. I love when they do shit like that to where it's like, oh, here you go. It was there the whole time. You didn't even fucking know.
Yeah, and stuff, I mean, like you said, dude, stuff like that is shit I love when companies do that. And it's because it's like, because then it's always like good to see when you go back, you're like, like I never would have noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry if you hear geese honking. There's a flock of geese flying by my house.
You good. Next thing we'll move on to, Soapy, is we had a little bit of a short, like 2-minute gameplay trailer over the weekend for Godfall. Godfall obviously coming out PS5 exclusive. And the thing that I will say, Soapy, is if they would have showed off this content, like this combat, at the last PlayStation Showcase that you and I watched, where you and I basically shit on the combat for Godfall, I would have had a much different reaction, because like this trailer with them like moving around and like how quick like the guys evading and swinging, like this is the combat I expected to play. Like this is the combat where I'm like, okay, that looks fucking cool. Not that like slow, like it was slow. It was like not even impressive gameplay that we saw at the last PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah, and the whole thing is, I definitely think at that showcase they did a disservice because they basically babied you through the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, all right, little buddy, you know what a controller is? Like, yeah, I know.
You've never played a game before.
Like, come on, buddy, hit the X button. That's basically what they started doing.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, like hit the X, hit the triangle, hit square.
Yeah.
So like they may as well have said that, and it's like, dude, shut up. We've all played a video game before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, but like with Godfall, like yet again, they show gameplay and it says like they say combat trailer. And the only thing from this is I wonder how much of this, yes, some of it was gameplay, but yet again, how easy is it going to be for me to execute these moves? Because yet again, one of the things that you and I had a complaint about when it came to the last footage we saw of Godfall was that you even said, you're like, usually when you're showing off gameplay, you want someone playing that game that's actually good at the game. And it looked like the person playing the game was not good at the game.
Yeah. Well, because it's like half the attacks they were doing, it seemed like they missed. Mm-hmm. Or like they weren't making like contact, or like just anything they were doing just didn't seem like it was doing what they wanted it to.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I have why I had the thought of, okay, why exactly would I want to, like, if people who work with the game are having this much trouble with the combat, why the hell would I want to even give that a chance?
Yeah. No, but like everything, I'm watching it right now, like as we're talking, and like this is what you should have shown. Like all I can think of is this is what you should have showed me.
It
This
also
is
doesn't help
what.
the game looks a lot better now.
Oh, it looks like, and that was something you even said. You're like, I don't think the game's like finished. I think they gotta polish it more, and you were right because the game looks better.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, I am one of those people. I'm always cynical when I see stuff like that. I'm like, man, that's a whole lot of motion blur to cover for when the textures do break.
We need somebody like that though. Not everyone can be pie in the sky optimistic, like everything's great. You need one guy to tell it like it is, Soaps, and that's you. That is definitely you.
Yeah, gotta call it all the motion blur I can.
So before we go, I'm gonna do a little audible here. We'll do one shorty but a goodie before we move on into the Borderlands stuff. And the shorty but a goodie that we have for today is basically this one coming from The Verge, that apparently the company Razer, Soapy, has kind of done a little faux pas. And I'm going to pull up my article really quick because this is the only article that didn't have a clickable link. This is from The Verge. Razer accidentally exposed over 100,000 gamers' personal information for close to a month, according to a new report. Security researcher Volodymyr Dyashenko, I hope I said that right, I probably did not, discovered that customer data on Razer's website was made publicly available on August 18th because of a server misconfiguration. A redacted sample pictured below shows records of orders made on the company's digital store, exposing personal information including email, mailing addresses, the type of product you ordered, and phone numbers. Credit card information was not included. Soapy, is this one where it's like you screwed up, but at least it wasn't that bad because the credit card information wasn't there?
No, I mean, I think it also mostly just depends on like how much personal info got leaked.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole thing is you can find out about a lot of people just by knowing their name.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the terrifying thing with the internet is like if I knew like your full name, I could definitely easily enough find out like if what your social security and shit like that is. Like,
yeah,
that's the terrifying thing with the internet of where like I almost feel internet what's it called? I think it's like anonymity or something like that. Basically, where it's
being anonymous.
Where like, yeah, like that's the best part of on the internet, and that's why I don't want to like take this conversation to a completely different fucking route.
So here's everything that got leaked. Looking at the image.
Okay.
Transaction date, order info, order number, order date, currency code, attributes, checkout language, checkout country, checkout locale, order items, name, line number. So that's all the product, the quantity. But then lower on, it's got address, street 1, city, first name, last name, phone, email. You've got city, email again, country. So like, yeah, like this guy's name in this one, they redacted the last name, but like I can see his first name's Ryan. He's from Canada. Like I can see that about this. Like this is, if you've ordered something from Razer, I would look into this. I don't know. It doesn't say in the article how far back the purchases. It almost feels like hey, you almost need to, if you've ordered from Razer, just be a little skeptic, because yes, credit card was not there, but like you said, with somebody's name, you could do some damage on the internet.
Yeah. Well, especially with you saying the address and everything and email, it's like that's the type of stuff you don't want on the internet. Like obviously, there's always the people who are like, oh, if someone has your address on the internet, they'll come and kill you or some stupid thing like that. And it's like, that doesn't happen very often. But like it kind of puts you at danger that like someone could start sending you shit that you like is illegal to have.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And people could like really fuck with you. Like especially if people know your address, they can start opening credit cards in your name.
Yep.
They can start doing shit like that. Where obviously, it's a good thing the cards didn't get leaked. But even that, most banks kind of have like fraud insurance.
Yeah.
and stuff like that, of like fraud coverage, of where someone opens a credit card in your name and they just absolutely tank your credit score. Credit score companies don't care. They're like, oh, boo-hoo, get the fuck over it, loser.
Yeah.
How about you just work that score back up?
Is there a way to basically, like, prove that you didn't open it, though?
I think there's a way. The only thing is, though, like, credit card companies will look for any reason for your rate, or, like, for your score to be low.
Yeah,
like,
well, I get that, but, like, I don't know.
I mean,
it seems like in 2020 there should be a
be
protection for that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's also 2020, so...
Like,
that's a double-edged sword. It's 2020, but it's also still 2020, so...
2020, whew, not the best of years. What can go wrong will go wrong. That's 2020.
Yep. But I think, I mean, if it's open in a completely different fucking state than you're in...
Yeah.
Obviously that's numero uno of, like, a credit card company could be like, okay, yeah, it wasn't you. But let's say they do it in the same state as you. Let's say, like, they go to the city that you are in...
And open a credit card.
Yeah, like, it gets harder and harder to prove that you opened that card. Or that you didn't open it, my bad.
Yeah. No, it's just something, like, I wanted to throw out there just so people know about it. And kind of not a good piece of news for today. That it just shows that as we're going digital, this is something that might happen in the digital world now, is that the information that you put online, no matter where it is, might not always be safe information.
Yep. And this also is going to massively show that, like, certain companies are going to have to step up their, like, their security measures. Because the whole thing is, like, we saw with, like, hacker groups, so with, like, obviously, like, Anonymous is, like, the old one, and, obviously everyone's always going to point them out, but, like, people like Lizard Squad. Like, look how long it took them to find Lizard Squad.
Yeah.
They threatened to bomb a fucking airport. It took them months to find them.
Yeah. No, like, the internet's a scary place. It's not all good. Just hopefully put in the right things to protect yourself, my guys and girls.
Yeah. Basically, just remember, don't click random links you see on the internet. Be careful where you purchase stuff from.
Do not click fish emails. Those are bad.
Yeah, definitely don't do those. If you see inappropriate bots on YouTube, don't click on their channels either.
I don't know, man. Some of those porn links, though, like, they're just so enticing, Soapy. They're just so enticing. Can get it all for free, though.
Yeah, dude,
I just want a new car, though, Soapy. I just want a new car. You know how much I
just want an iPhone, though.
And now I can play Fortnite on that thing. Oh, too soon?
Yeah, I was going to say it. No. No, it's never too soon. Fuck Epic.
Soapy, let's close the show with a little thing right up your alley. First off, I got to ask you, over the weekend, you said you were playing the new Borderlands 3 DLC. Give everyone home a little tasty poo. What are you liking from it? You like it? You don't like it? What's your review of the Krieg DLC?
The Fantastic Fuster Cluck is, in my opinion, the best DLC for Borderlands 3.
Nice.
And it's also because, like, it's very reminiscent of Borderlands 2's writing. Like, obviously, there's still, like, the sprinkling of 3's writing in there. But, for instance, like, you are seeing the game from a completely different perspective. Of, like, you're not seeing it from a normal person's eyes. You are seeing it from literally someone who is fucking insane.
From Krieg's eyes.
Yeah, you are seeing it basically from Krieg's brain and how he registers things.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it's not so much a spoiler anymore. Like, you fight evil versions of the Vault Hunters from the last game.
Yeah.
Or, not last game, from, like, the first game. Like, you fight, like, evil Mordecai, evil Brick. And it's the way Krieg fucking explains them is the greatest part. Of where Brick's typically, like, the big dumb guy, but fucking Krieg views him as, like, really smart. So, whenever they're talking, it's just Mordecai's like, I'm married to a motherfucking bird! And fucking Brick is just like, I indubitably think so. Like, he's just acting smart.
Oh, I fucking love Borderlands. Like, the writing was the best part. The writing was truly the best part of that game.
Yeah, and it's really good. Obviously, like, I guess my one complaint is, like, all the bosses feel like fucking bullet sponges. Which, I guess fits one of the bosses, which I think his name's, like, fucking SpongeBobby, I think is what his name is, or something like that. It's a SpongeBob reference.
Well,
I think it's actually SpongeBob No Chance, I think is what he's called.
The actual sponge should be soaking up bullets and damage, right?
Yeah.
But I bring Borderlands up because there's some new news. There's 3 things of news, Soapy. And the first one is that Borderlands 3, free on next gen upgrade. Really good. Number 2, as there is a new DLC announced. And then one of the things you brought up, Soapy, crossplay is coming to Borderlands 3. You gotta refresh my memory with the crossplay. Is it just for next-gen consoles that we're gonna get crossplay for Borderlands?
From what I saw, it's only going to be next gen that gets it. But it's also because I think with this gen, they're going to really try to ditch the last gen quicker than they've done in past.
Mm-hmm.
Because especially with because I honestly, and I don't want to like steer this too far away from Borderlands, but just kind of the reason I think they're going to try to ditch it as quick as they can is because last gen consoles are going to hold back next gen.
Okay.
Like, for instance, like the way I looked at it was like there wasn't a big enough gap between PS3 and PS4 and 360 and 1 to be like, okay, shit, completely drop it. This one, like, we are going from like pretty powerful consoles to damn near computers.
Yeah.
So, like, that's why I think they're going to drop it as quick as they can. And I think it's obviously giving incentive to Xbox One players or Xbox Series X and PS5 players to do stuff like that to move on. But yeah, I think crossplay is only for next gen.
No, but with the DLC also, you said there was a little bit of, I don't want to say drama with it, but people are upset with it. It was like
tension.
People are upset with it because apparently they, at the beginning of the cycle, said, hey, for this lump sum of price, you get 4 DLCs, and this is the 5th one, so people are mad they've got to pay for this one.
Yeah, and a lot of people, the reason why is, like, obviously, the Season Pass does say 4. The thing with this one is, though, this isn't like a full-on DLC like the Fustercluck, like Gun, Loves, and Tentacles.
It's kind of like a half DLC.
Yeah, it's adding new skills to the Vault Hunters. Like, the one we've seen is Flak.
Okay.
Like, we've seen Flak's whole new skill tree of where, I love the internet meme that I saw of where they were comparing it, and it's Flak becomes a siren. Because his new ability is basically what Maya's was in the last game.
Jesus.
Where he basically can pick people up. But except he can do it like to a whole bunch of people. So that's why it was, when people said the fucking, when they said that, I was like, man, you know, I'm like, they're not wrong.
Yeah, and I mean, Borderlands 3, it's one of those where once I have time, I should go back and play it, or here's what we should do. We wait till next gen, Soapy, and we play together. Because then that means you, I, and Dave. Well, Dave, does PC count? Is PC going to count in the crossplay? So. Okay. Dave would have to buy it on PC.
It's basically, it's basically Xbox and PC are buddy already. We love each other because they're owned by the same person. But
I don't know if Dave's going to get a PS5. I don't know because like I kind of baited him into the PS4. I'll be honest. Oh, you got to get it. You'll play Call of Duty with me, and then Dave was like, why did I buy this? Why did I buy this console?
I mean, hey, now we got Avengers on it, and you guys, I don't think have played it together yet, so...
No. Yeah, we will. I promise. I just gotta beat the story. Every time I go to beat the story, Soapy, this weekend I got fucking I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it on Sunday. And then I decided to fucking just redo my entire room of why you guys see a different angle and why you guys are going to see a bookshelf soon. Because I'm like, fuck it. I'm moving this desk because I hated where it was before. But I promise, Dave, I'm going to beat this because I know Dave's watching. Because we are going to play Avengers together. I promise. That will not be a wasted purchase. But any final things you need to say about Borderlands Soaps before we wrap up the show?
I think it's mostly just, I'm like, obviously I'm not like insanely excited for DLC 5, and it's just because like it's not adding any new story content.
It's like a half DLC.
Yeah, it's basically like what I would compare it to is like the Headhunter packs from Borderlands 2, over like, except it's not even like that.
Okay.
Because with the Headhunter packs, it was like you would get like a couple new missions. With this one, it's basically you're just getting new skills, and like there may be like a weapon or two.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, because I can also briefly say what all the skills are, because we know
Sure,
what they
go
all
ahead.
are. It's just we know what Flax does.
Go ahead.
So, Flack has his new ability is called Gravity Snare, and basically what it is he throws the thing down, and everyone within a certain radius gets like lifted up into the air and suspended there. That's why everyone kept saying that Flack is a fucking siren now.
He's a fucking
Because
siren.
that is the exact same thing that Amara can do, and the exact same thing Maya can do. So, that was kind of one of the things. It's Zane. All we know with him is he gets a shoulder-mounted cannon, which aka everyone's already memeing of, like, wow, as much as they may sweep the pre-sequel under the rug, they really just stole that fucking idea, didn't they? Because that was, in the pre-sequel, there was,
I remember playing
Wilhelm,
that. I remember playing that with Dave and being like, "This isn't that good."
Yeah, I mean, dude, hey, I'm the only human being on this planet that actually liked the pre-sequel, right?
Yeah, I was not a fan of it. I will say that.
Yeah, and it's with Wilhelm. It's if you got down far enough, one of his skill trees, he just had a shoulder-mounted cannon. So everyone's like, okay, cool. So Zane is Wilhelm.
I remember that. I remember Wilhelm.
Yeah, Amara's. She basically gets like this orb thing she throws at people, and she can now officially do cryo damage. So that's pretty cool. And Mose gets a baby Iron Bear. She no longer has the giant. Yeah, which people have just started calling it. Yeah, she was the one who had the giant mech suit. Yeah, now you can spawn in the little one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and people have started calling it Iron Cub, and I'm like, God damn it, dude. Oh, I forgot to mention Flack's new pet, because with every skill, Flack gets new pets.
Yeah.
He gets an Ion. He gets a Loader from Borderlands, or from Borderlands 2.
Nice.
Yeah, he can get 3 of them. It's he starts off with an Ion Loader, which is the electric
Fucking
one.
A.
Then he gets it's a Bull Loader, which is the one that had like that weird like bulldozer thing in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the final version of it is a War Loader,
Nice.
so he can shoot rockets at people.
Are you gonna get it even though it's not free?
Mm-hmm.
Soapy's like, is that even a fucking question, Ricky?
Dude, like as much as, and I mean, obviously at some point we could probably just do like a fucking like games that are perceived as bad that we loved.
Yeah.
Like Topic at some point, and like Borderlands would be mine. Is like people consider
Borderlands
it like,
or Borderlands 3, like the whole kit and caboodle, or just like one game?
I would just say one game. Because honestly, I would say pre-sequel, but I'm, once again, like I said, I'm the only human being in existence who actually like the pre-sequel, so...
I remember playing that with Dave, and I was like, this is not good.
I mean, hey, dude, you didn't play the DLC, right? You didn't play the Claptastic Voyage.
No, I didn't.
Where you go inside a Claptrap's mainframe.
Was the pre-sequel was the one with, like, the fucking... was he the mayor? You dealt with, like, a mayor or something? Or president?
Yeah, the mayor. Sheriff and mayor.
Yeah, that guy.
Or the sheriff and mayor.
I remember playing that with Dave, and I was like, I was unimpressed with it. But that's going to do it for MVP Games Live on this beautiful September 14th. Soapy and I will obviously be back tomorrow. Remember, join the Discord, link down below, or exclamation Discord into Twitch chat in order to get that link. It's a great time talking to everyone from the real MVP family. Patreon.com/MVP vids is how you help support the channel and interact with the show, get content early, all that good stuff, exclusive Discord perks that nobody else gets. And remember, we're on twitch.tv/MVP vids. We're also on YouTube at MVP Entertainment. Make sure to follow and subscribe to us at both places. Like I said, Soapy and I will be back tomorrow. One of us or two of us, hopefully two of us, but unless something happens, me for sure, will be live reacting to the PlayStation event on Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I cannot wait for that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. We will see you tomorrow. And as always, have a good day, everybody.
Bye.